Hello, friends. I'm back. I think I'm finally going to get to this video that I've been putting off. I've been wanting to make this one and show these books off for a while. Uh, I don't know how to really categorize them, call what to call them as a group. Uh, so you're welcome to comment, help me. Mostly like pseudo religious, fake religion, mocking religion, whatever you have you. Uh, you'll see what I'm talking about when I get to them. But first things first, as another ode. I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to do this, but another ode to my good buddy. Uh, like I said, I don't drink beer like he does, but what I got is some chocolate almond milk in a wine glass. Kind of dangerous, not because it's unsteady, but because I've gotten quite allergic to almonds, but I don't let my body dictate what I like. Almonds are healthy. I'm going to continue to ingest them just in moderation. You can't be too stupid. But yeah, and it's good. I recommend it. They put enough. If you one of those people don't like the taste of almonds, they put enough chocolate in there to cover it. It tastes quite a bit. So there's that. So before I get started, that's what usually happens. Is I leave off a book that I plan on doing in the last video. So I'll start off showing that one. And I'll try to find stuff that is obscure, stuff I've never seen before. And so I happened to find this one. It's an omnibus of three books. Everybody's familiar with Clive Barker's Books of Blood. Well, I found another one, Books of Blood. This is by M.C. Sumner. Or at least that's what I thought it was called. The longer I've had it, I'm looking. It's actually called Three Books of Blood. It's an omnibus of three different books. The Principle, the Hunger, and the Coach. So yeah, well. It's still unique and it's still interesting. It seems like. So it's the first time I've ever seen it. So I thought, yeah, take a chance on that. So there's that. So you're gonna see. To me, these books have a running theme. There's not too many in this group, so if I have time, I might show off a couple more uh, collectible books. Uh, so you can look forward to that. First one I'll start off with is The Story of the Devil by Arturo Graf. I don't really know much about it. Just an old book, and it seems like there's a lot in the contents. Maybe it's a biography of the devil and throughout history and whatnot. And I'm fascinated by stuff like that. Anything devil and hell related. I found out I did already make that video about my hell books. I might have gotten a couple new ones since, but there's no point in redoing that for a while yet. Uh, so anyway, there's that. Doesn't have a jacket. I need to look up and see what the jacket actually was supposed to look like. This is I don't really care about condition in my books too much as long as I can read them. And this is 90 years old now, so I'd say it's holding up pretty good. So let's see here. So the next one's it's a couple of them that I read earlier. I think earlier this year. Uh, that I found some interesting tidbits in them that I liked. One is the Wisdom of the Buddha, the unabridged Dhammapada. I guess that's how you pronounce it. I like a lot of this. A lot of sacred texts. I'll read or plan on eventually reading a lot of different ones. But I like the ones in what they call Hindu in that area. Those quite a bit, as you're getting ready to see. This one, the Bhagavad Gita. I'm probably butchered that. This one was there's a lot of good parts to this, and it was really interesting. You know, and as I read a lot of this stuff, I found between the different religions, they all have that's pretty much the same running theme throughout them. It's basically just be kind to people, and and don't and and don't do bad things for the most part. So along with those ones I haven't gotten to yet, I've gotten quite a bunch. I got the whole Mahabharata, which I believe the Bhagavad Gita was supposed to be in this. I don't know. It's what I've heard anyway. I also have the Ramayana. Got the Upanishads. It's in 2 volumes. And I got the Vedas. So, as you can probably tell, I watched a lot of Ancient Aliens, and they quote from these books quite a bit and talk about them. So, yeah. I'm really looking forward to getting to these eventually, but, my TBR is so huge. I'm not sure when. So there's those. So continuing on. Another one I read that was actually pretty interesting in a humorous vent. The joy of leaving your shit all over the place. There's a lot of people that could use that. It's Jennifer McCartney, I think is the author. So there's that. Another one. Mr. Terry probably get some appreciation out of this one. The Abad Guide. Yeah. So yeah, take living like Lebowski. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff in there. So yeah, I'd highly recommend that one. I read that earlier too. And this one was very interesting. I got it because of the title, but the content was actually surprised me. The Gospel According to Dr. Seuss by James Kemp. It's actually a lot more interesting than you would think. It actually made me want some Seuss books that normally I didn't have any interest in all that much. And once you dig deeper, using his insight, he made the books a lot better. The next one is, I would say the novelization of Dogma, but I haven't been able to find a novel. This is basically like a play or screenwrite, whatever you call it. It's done in scenes and everything. I think it's screenplay. I think that's the word for it, screenplay. And as you can see, it's signed by Kevin Smith. I just happened to find that, and of course, when I read it, I got a couple creases through it in the cover. At least I think that's where they came from. Wouldn't be surprised if that happened. But yeah, Yeah, I'm sorry about that, and people are gonna be all over me for having that, but it's not that big a deal for me. Maybe for some other people that actually consider themselves more of a collectors. But yeah, and uh, and it's just as good as the movie. You know, there's it seemed almost exactly, although I think there might have been some differences. I can't quite remember. I, I think there was. There goes my dang hands again. That's probably where it came from. My hands flinch all the time and everything. I don't know what that is. Nerve problem or something. And this one, there's a lot of peaceful religions. I was raised Christian, but the more you learn about Christianity, the more you dislike it because there's a lot of hatred in it. People blame a lot of that on the Muslim religion and everything, how bad it is. But if the more you look into Christianity, it's kind of worse when you think about it. So you try to branch into something that's more peaceful. So I looked into humanism and Buddhism, and I tried to combine those two and live like that, uh, treating all people fairly, treating all animals fairly, which is basically what Buddhism kind of does, adds to it. You don't do any outright harm to anybody, and a lot of that's in, like, I think Wicca too, Wiccan religions and stuff. A lot of other things like that, but I haven't really learned much about that stuff. And then I found out that Sikhism is basically just that, the combination of humanism and Buddhism for the most part. Based you can probably take that with a grain of salt. But based on a little bit I've learned about it, that's kind of the way it is. And the big thing with Sikhism, you'll find out, is that people care, the the partakers of it care more about other people than they do themselves. So and a lot of times to their detriment. It seems like, at least according to some movies and stuff I've seen, where they have characters that way, which is not a bad way to live. That's the way I want to be in a relationship. If I ever get lucky enough to get in one, I want to put my spouse first whenever I can, and if any kids come along, then put them first too, of course. But anyway, get along those lines. Then I found this book, and it even goes a step further. It's The Gospel of the Flying Spaghetti Monster by Bobby Henderson. Pastafarianism is what it is. And when you think, everybody wants it's like a joke and everything, but when you think about it, a big ball of pasta in the sky is no more different or unlikely than anything else. But this teaches 100% peacefulness. There's no negativity, and it's 100% accepting of everybody as long as you're peaceful and whatnot. So I would recommend it. It's worth a look for most people. If it's not that much, not that long to read or anything. So it's pretty interesting. It's worth a look if anything else. Yeah. So yeah, there's that. I recommend it too. Now we'll get into some of the stuff I haven't read yet. Stuff from this little group over here that I might wanted to focus the video on. And another one, I like books that are. I got a lot of actual gospel and religious texts and stuff like that. Stuff that wasn't canonized. I got Let's see here. I'll show you this real quick. I got this 2-volume set. The Pseudepigrapha. There's a lot of stuff in between these, but I've gotten a lot of these things are in the public domain, so I found them other ways and read a lot of them already. Like the books of Adam and Eve and other odd gospels and everything, and in the one where it talks about Jesus going to hell, uh, stuff like that, I would highly recommend looking into all those other stuff, not just the stuff that's canonized. A lot of the stuff was originally in the Bible when it eventually was taken out. So, go ahead and look into it. It's all interesting, if nothing else. And some of the books that I really want to get into, and for some reason I haven't gotten to yet, are the Enoch books. So yeah, and I think they're in one of these. So anyway, get to this one, because like I said, I like gospels that aren't gospels, or traditionally known as gospels, and this is probably a fictional book, the Gospel According to the Son by Norman Mailer. Yeah. So, and along these same lines, I forgot what I did with it. It should be over here somewhere, but I don't see it. I got Johnny Cash's Man in White. I actually got a better copy of it more recently, with a dust jacket and everything. That was on Paul of Tarsus, or Saul of Tarsus, the Apostle Paul, who he became after his enlightenment. He did a really good job in that book, talking about that. And I have a feeling, based on just based on the title, basically, all I have to go by. Norm probably did a similar thing with Jesus, talking about him. So I like reading this stuff, even though I may not 100% believe it. And I get something weird, I just got it basically for the cover and the title. I don't know exactly what this entails. Maybe it's blasphemy, I don't know. But anyway, it's a Satan's Study Bible, the Gospel of Mark by Crucifixus, I guess you'd call it. It's just something weird I happened to find, and I don't know exactly what it's about. Who knows? But I collect all kinds of weird stuff like this. So, salvation in Jesus Christ through blasphemy. So yeah, there you go. So it's not that long. Yeah, worth it for a lark, I guess. And this one here, I forget who did this. It's hard to find it. Yeah, Steve Ebling did this. The Holy Bible, the best goddamn version. This is the Books of Moses. I got this for the same reason. It just looked interesting. There wasn't much information on it. And once I got it, he basically took the Books of Moses and rewrote them in narrative fashion, and without any prejudice. So he gets a little vulgar, I guess, at times, according to the chapter titles and everything. And actually, at one time, I had started trying to rewrite the Bible myself and put it and trying to modernize it and give my translation of it, but I quickly got over my head in that, and I gave it up. I don't know if I'll ever get back to it or not, but yeah. So I know firsthand how hard that can be, and a lot of people have done that. So my hat goes off to them that they could continue with it. There's so many translations and stuff like that over the years and everything. One version is just as true as any other. So that. Here's one I did read, and I can't recommend this one enough. This one was just great, and I became a fan of this author 100% after this book, even though I still haven't read any others. for some reason. It's God Knows by Joseph Heller. Solomon, basically the story of Solomon and David. Very, very interesting. But basically, you could call it like another novelization of the Bible, where they try to talk about we quickly recognize stuff that actually was in the Bible talked about here in this novel version. So yeah, so it's very interesting. I highly recommend that one. And this one, basically just because of the title and everything, and the cover, I don't know how much it goes along with the rest of the book. And from what I understand, it might be slightly rare. Michael Moorcock, Behold the Man. It should be interesting. Based on, who knows? I don't know anything about it, and just it looks like it goes in this group. The next one here, like I've already showed you the Arturo book. This is another one I found that's along the same lines, I believe. Where it's basically a biography of Satan, actually called Satan, by Lewis Spurgeon Chafer. I don't know if this one had a jacket or not at one time. It doesn't now. Yeah. So there's that. And another one here. This one's pretty famous. The Last Temptation of Christ by Nikos Kazantzakis. I guess that's how all these foreign to me names. So I could be butchering those. Who knows? I can't remember if I saw the movie or not. I think I did. But of course, books are almost always better than movies and tell more things. And along this whole genre, I try to look for the odd and the eccentric and the comical and everything. And these next two are probably along those lines. And one's called Apocalypse or Apocrypha Now, and then God is Disappointed in You, both by Mark Russell, and cartoons by Shannon Wheeler. Let's see, and as you can tell, I guess these are faux leatherette type books. They're hardbacks, but they kind of almost kind of got like a leathery cover to them. They're still thick like hard books though, and they got this this shiny edges to them. And I happen to like books that are, I guess the best way to phrase it is, they're printed like Bibles typically are, printed in leather covers and everything, and these fancy edges and everything, and preferably with thin pages too, if possible. Even though they're not actual Bibles, they could be anything really. Like if there's ever an omnibus collection of Asimov's short stories, that's almost comical. How many did he write? He wrote hundreds of novels, so how many short stories did he write? But if you combine all of them together, you'd probably need a huge thick book. But if they were in thin pages like this, in a Bible fashion, you could and call it the Bible of Asimov. It's you could do that. And I'd be right up there wanting to get it. And so of course these are little humorous takes of on Bible stories. So I really look forward to reading them. And And I don't think this one has anything to do with religion so much. I don't really know what it's about. It just was weird, and it kind of and, uh, and it's just wet. I don't know. I don't, like I said, I don't know anything about it, but it's just it fit this group better looks wise than it did any of my other books. It's called Scorch Atlas by Blake Butler. Uh, so so if you know anything about it, let me know. I remember reading a little bit about it. It might have been a little description at first, but once I found out about how it looks and everything, it's just it's an odd looking book. Black edges, and it just way the pages are printed, where it looks like they look like they're old, wrinkly pages, but they're not. I don't know, why they'd do that. It's part of the quirkiness of the book, I guess. Yeah, that doesn't fit. This one here, I like the way this book looks, and you can probably tell exactly, at least who the author is based on this edition. When I found out about this book, I wanted a copy of this book, and I wanted a good copy of it. Fancy one, kind of Bible-ish looking book, and I found this. It's Dennis Wheatley's The Satanist, by the way. But come to find out, I found out later, is the publisher, Hutchinson and Company, it looks like. Heron, distributed by Heron Books. Pretty much did his whole oeuvre in this fashion, which seems obvious now. So all of them can be found this way, but I like it especially with a book called The Satanist. I don't know exactly what it's about, like a lot of these things, but it just seemed interesting. But I got a few Wheatley books and stuff, so that just seemed interesting. And this one I got in a bag, and you can't see it because it's writing on the bag. And the bag happens to have been tore, so I can get to it real easy. I don't know, it's another one I don't know anything about, but it's got religious overtones to it. Immodest Acts, Judith Brown, The Life of a Lesbian Nun in Renaissance Italy. It's I guess a little bit religious, just odd, something just really odd. Maybe it's probably a biography. Maybe it's someone that actually existed. And of course, it doesn't want me to get back in there. All right, that. Okay. Next, a Gore Vidal book, Live from Golgotha, the Gospel according to Gore Vidal. So there you go, another similar, I guess, novelization or something. I'll find out when I read it. Another book with gospel in the title. I'm sure there's probably hundreds of them, but these are just the ones I've found. And I've got a few books like this, and for some reason they're not all over here. Now that I think about it, I probably should have had them found them, but I got stuff scattered all over the place. This one's called The Uncensored Bible, uh, where they take out some of the stuff that people don't want to remember is actually in the Bible, and they bring it to the forefront. Uh, so yeah, see, Penn Jillette wrote a book, uh, going against religion too. Uh, what's it called? God knows, or something like that. I forget exactly what it's called, but yeah, that's that one was very interesting too. For some reason, I don't have it over here, and there's a couple of them. I got a couple books in this vein, where they highlight some of the bad things out of the Bible that people don't want to remember. And so yeah, this one here, it's not quite. It's a paperback cover, kind of imitates uh, a Bible, and it's called Not the Bible. The world's #2 bestseller. It's another humorous take on it. Let's see. I don't know exactly. I don't think I know exactly. Let's see. Yeah, no, just like a pseudonym. Don't know exactly who's responsible for it. But it's just one of those goofy things, There's a lot of stuff in here, kind of like Mad Comics type stuff in it, or National Lampoon, along those veins. Uh, which, speaking of, well, I thought I had a National Lampoon book. Wrong. But guess not. It's not here. That I can see. I thought I did. I have one went that they did again like that. But anyway, this one, flimsy cover. It's another one that's kind of paperback. Not, it kind of makes it look like it's a Bible a little bit. It's yeah. I'll let you see the title there. What the Bible really says about sex, by Michael Coogan. Yeah, we all know a few things. Yeah. And this one here, this is probably the biggest and most authentic to what I like in this genre. And when I found out about this book, I had this idea. Maybe they published this book in this fashion, and sure enough, they did. Christopher Moore wrote Lamb, The Gospel According to Biff, Christ's Childhood Pal, and it's published to look like a Bible, complete with the shiny edges, the thin cover, although it's not quite like it's not Bible fake leather, but it imitates it pretty well, and it's even got a ribbon bookmark. The pages are thick, but you kind of expect that. And I might have this. I think I do have it in another version, but I probably will wind up reading it with this version. Yeah. So yeah, there's that. And as far as I can tell, that's all of them I got over here in this kind of group. And I tried to remember where I had others, and that's where I got some of these, and I brought them over here to show. Can't really. I know I got some more. I just can't think of what I did with them. Yeah. I know this video's went a little long, but I can still show off a few books like I promised. So I'll just start off with these. Brian McNaughton. These the star covers of his books. There's Seductress, Satan's Seductress, Satan's Love Child, Satan's Mistress, and this one I don't think is Star. No, it's Carlisle, Satan's Surrogate. I don't know if Star ever did this one. I haven't been able to find one anywhere. So, yeah, there's that. So we got those. And let's see. I don't think I have anything else that's really ready to show yet. I like that. Well, you know, kind of these here kind of fit the theme. I just recently found out about Charles Grant's Millennium Cycle, and there's a symphony, and the mood, in the mood. Is it in? Yeah, it's in the mood. Riders in the Sky, and I got the Chariot in hardback. About the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, from what I understand. So, yeah. When I found out about that, so I thought, well, I gotta have them then. Then, of course, these are all trades and everything, you know, nothing special about them. But let's see if I can't get to this one. Yeah. Okay, let's see what I do with the other one here. Yeah. These are I got this whole series here from Russell Martin. The rest of them are behind the phone. I can't really get to them. But these are the 2 hardest to get ones. This the first one in the series, Raya. This is an uncorrected galley proof. I don't know if that's anything. I don't know if that's similar to an ARC or not. When I went to look for a copy of Raya, all I've ever seen was the paperback. That's all anybody ever had to show. But for some reason, I could not find a copy anywhere until I found this one. It is a second printing. It says so. How can you have a second printing of a galley proof? I don't know. Anyway, pretty good shape except for the jacket. Jacket's a little dinged up. And I don't know if I've ever seen another one of these, so, you know, maybe it's rare. Yeah. This one here I know is rare. You just try finding this one. I think this one might be one of the last ones in the series. The Resurrection of Candy Sterling. And of course, like I said, I got the other ones, but they can be found anywhere from like 10 to 50 bucks or something like that. It's usually a going rate, last I checked, for the rest of them in this series. But these here, this one's nearly impossible to find. The only place I've ever seen it for sale is from a lady that's got a store on eBay, and she somehow got a hold of four different copies. I think it was 4, at least 3, if not 4. This is the 4th one that I know of that she had. I missed out or got sniped on the others I found out about, or might have passed on 1 or 2. She had at least at the time for me, too high price that I wanted. But this was, but when she put this one up there, I thought, how many times can a lightning strike? In the same place. How many more times am I ever going to see this book? So I said, well, I was determined to win this. I ain't gonna tell you how much I paid, but it was a lot. Didn't want to, but like I said, I'm not gonna find another copy that I know of. So yeah, and it's in very nice shape. It's like I said, it's got its little dings and stuff, but no real serious problems. And very nice book. And I believe this series was featured in Paperbacks of Hell, and they made it seem very interesting. From what way I understand it, way Grady Hendrix explained it, there's not much that actually happens in Raya compared to the rest of the books. But it being the first one, you gotta read it, right? So yeah, there's that. Uh, I guess that's where I will probably call off. Well, no, don't know if this one fits or not. I just had to see this Stupidest Angel, another Christopher Moore book. I'm gonna hopefully read that in the next few years. I don't know when my reading's gotten a little slow. I got several different genres or groups of books. I collect. I like a lot of Alice stuff, or fairy tale things. Yeah, like this one here. I wasn't gonna show this, but happened since I mentioned that. Short stories, Mad Hatters and March Hare's, edited by Ellen Datlow. I got a lot of Ode to Alice books. Like I've already showed you the Charles Grant's Tea Party and the Black Alice from the other video. I got a lot of stuff along those lines where other people have wrote. Gina Showalter, she's got a series. A bunch of other people did things. There's probably too many for me to collect, but yeah. So yeah, there's that, and one of my all-time favorite books was War of the Worlds, and so I try to collect everything I can find, uh, sequel-wise and whatnot, odes to them, and I got quite a bit, and of course I got Christopher's Tripod series, and I think it's young adults. It's supposed to be a trilogy, but I think there's 4 books, and John Christopher, yeah. I got the trilogy all in one, but for some reason the first book, what I think is the first book, was not included in that trilogy, so I got it separate. Of course, I got there's a comic book, a few comic books with War of the Worlds. I got them, and then of course you got the War of the Worlds plus Blood, Gut, and Zombies. I think the title got that, and a few, and then of course I got a collection of dystopian books. Huxley and Jules Verne and all those people. Where they 1984 and 1985. All that stuff. Maybe I'll eventually collect all this stuff together and do videos on them too. But everything's all scattered around. So, and I'll got. Let me see if do I got them both here? It should be. There's one. Where's the other? There it is. Actually, I'll hold off on them. I ain't gonna show them just yet. But yeah, I've got a lot of lot of rare books and whatnot, or some rare books, some hard to find books, and just some odd ones, stuff that I buy just for the novelty, don't, even though they might talk about topics I don't really believe in, so take that with a grain of salt with some of these things I show off, I just, you know, I, I actually happened to found a book on I think the main topic, if not the title, it's called "What If the Holocaust Never Happened" or something like that, and it talks about all the evidence that there wasn't a Holocaust, you know, like that actually happened, but you don't know the whole truth unless you read a little bit of the other side, I guess, So we'll see what kind of nonsense that has in it. A lot of this stuff, I probably should have bought by now. A lot of stuff I haven't bought yet, which is getting hard to find because a lot of stuff is being censored and taken away from online stores. If you know what I mean, a lot of stores are not letting you buy things anymore. If you big names, if you know what I mean. I don't want to give them away what the store's called, but they have ebooks, and they don't really sell you the ebook. They sell you the rights to the ebook, and they can take those rights away at any time, apparently. And so, unless you have it downloaded to a device, you're not gonna. And even then, you still might not be able to read it. If the device is connected to the internet, it'll probably still disappear on you. I had a copy of Infinite Jest on a device. Nothing really controversial about that book that I know of, and but I really liked it. A little bit I've read of it, and I just got sidetracked and got so many other things that that it got left behind, and I had a lot of stuff, passage highlighted in and notes on it and everything. Usually I don't do that with books, but it was a digital book, so they gave you the option, so I did it. And I got to thinking, earlier this year about I want to check back with that book and see, at least look at it. And sure enough, it's no longer available through the store. At least not the copy that I originally purchased. So I don't know if it's still on my device or not. It was one of the first ones. I don't know if it's got Wi-Fi connected to it or not, right? Or it's got the store's version of the Wi-Fi, I guess. So don't know if it's still on there or not. I did download it on there. Don't know if I haven't opened that device up in forever. As far as I know, the battery's dead in it. I have been charging it off and on over the years, so who knows? I noticed some of the iPads I got, you leave them for months, you can still recharge them and they're fine. So we don't know. So anyway, this video wound up getting long again. Apologize for that. If you watched, I thank you. I look forward to doing another one of these for you. And Holly, thank you again. Get you some almond milk. Hopefully it won't try to kill you like it does me sometimes. And we'll see you next time. Hopefully with a shorter video. Hopefully something more interesting. People will actually watch. Who knows? See ya.